The pileup of seagulls and crows is definitely worth waiting until the end of the video for, but if not, just skip to the end of the video. You can see the seagulls and crows going nuts on these chickens. Alright, so let's give it a go. Like American federal politics? Canadians like in tariff war? I don't know if it's a war. Do you think it's a war? Like, leave it in the comments if you think it's a war. Like, let's take a look.
Okay, good day. Welcome to the Great White North, aka Canadian Corner.
How's it going, eh?
Bob McKenzie, my brother Doug.
1 2 1 2. Yeah, we've got some audio. Hey gang, what's up? Aaron right here, Canadian Looney. We're looking for some carnage, are we? I've got a couple of these dirty birds left over to put out, and it is going to be carnage here in a couple of minutes. Just wait and see. I live by the ocean, so like seagulls, crows, every other type of bird trying to get a peck. I'm guessing that we're going to get seagulls. They can eat the bones. Yeah, I've seen the birds eat these strings like nothing. But in a couple of minutes, I'm guessing it won't take long. I've been hearing the birds cawing all day.
And that is why tariffs are stupid.
So yeah, give it a couple of minutes, and man oh man, there is going to be a show right here. Wait and see.
Cut it out. I love you.
We'll also hear about the fact that Canada is retaliating on the tariffs that they are going to experience. And on Wednesday morning, the EU announced a huge package of tariffs that it will apply on American imports into the EU as they retaliate against Donald Trump's tariffs on them.
Investigative journalism is part of a democracy. It's really important to have a strong, independent press that scrutinizes the government, scrutinizes political actors, and asks questions about what their motivations are, digs into issues, and presents unbiased takes to give the Canadian public an understanding of what people's motivations might be, but also to help hold the government to account. This is a critical part of a democracy. But you have to ask yourself what's happening in Canada right now. Now, Canada has a new quasi-appointed prime minister, a man named Mark Carney, who has never held a political office day in his life. Only a few thousand people in Canada that held Liberal Party memberships just sort of coronated him to the role of prime minister while Parliament was shut down. So you'd think that the Canadian media would be all over this, that they would be vetting this man, that they would be, digging into some of the big obvious questions that other international news media outlets are looking at, right? Right? Like you'd think that the Canadian legacy media who come out there and they go, we need a strong independent journalist corps and we need to be doing investigative journalism. We need to keep journalism alive. You'd think that they'd be the first ones out there, right? Scrutinizing this man. Well, I hate to say it, but we're not seeing a lot of that, right?
That might be a little bit too conservative for these conservatives, Michelle Rempel-Garner. Like now we're going to listen to almost liberal premier, technically a conservative, Doug Ford. And now he's bragging that he fought down Trump. Let's take a peek.
I will. Just give me 2 seconds.
Thank you so much.
First of all, thank you so much. We've had a very, very productive meeting. Obviously, a very long one, too. We know that we're very close partners for many, many years. We want to make sure we continue building on that relationship. We feel that the temperature is being lowered. That's what we feel, the temperature is being lowered. And we've also agreed that we're going to have another meeting next week. And I think it's going to be very productive as well. We want the best outcome for both countries. We're like a family. Sometimes there's tension between families, But that was an extremely productive meeting, and I just want to thank Secretary for the opportunity to go in there and stay this long and communicate. We shared a tremendous amount of views back and forth, and I'm feeling very positive, and I just look forward to reaching out again next week. But this, I can honestly say, was the best meeting I've ever had coming down here.
Why do you say that? Why?
Well, because I feel and I keep saying we feel like the temperatures come down.
How so,
I'm not commenting on their behalf. We also know we're an extremely important trading partner, I'd say top tier in the world to the United States, and how we can continue working together to support each other. And I know it's still going to be moving forward, and we'll get there. But there'll always be bumps in the road. But it was very, very productive.
Bottom line, nothing is done yet, right? Everything is still on, right?
I'm sorry?
Nothing has been stopped. There's still tariffs threatened.
I don't call them the threats. We're having very productive conversations. And it turned out very, very well. And I just look forward to, again, continue communicating. Next week, we got a lot on the table back and forth. But it was very, very good, very civil, very going back and forth. So I just appreciate the opportunity. I'm grateful that we're able to do this rather than going back and forth, tit for tat.
Premier, how do you take Commerce Secretary Lutnick at his word when he says something very different to his American audience when he appears on Fox News? Once again, he mocked Canada, he mocked you, he said that Donald Trump taught you a lesson, and that's why you backed down. How do you deal with that type of tone when it's coming from the U.S.?
Well, I can't comment on Secretary Lutnick, what he says. All I know, first time we had an opportunity to sit right across from the table from him, look him square in the eyes, and had a great conversation. It was very positive. That's what I can tell you. It was very, very positive on both sides of the table there.
Is the energy surcharge going back on?
Achieve with this meeting today? What were you hoping to achieve?
You know, my years in business and years in government, I believe in building relationships. And I think we've come a long way in building this relationship. It's the first opportunity. I've talked to Secretary Lutnick before. Now, keep in mind, Secretary Lutnick is a brilliant business mind, a shrewd negotiator, and he's doing what's right for his country, and I'm doing what's right for my province and in turn our country. But let's continue on this conversation. But I'm leaving this meeting extremely positive. That's what I'm leaving.
What have you learned about negotiating with Americans and this administration over the last 10 days or so?
They're very bright individuals, bright business peoples, and shrewd negotiators, but they're doing what I'm doing. I want to protect our country, our province. They want to protect their country as well.
He's called you a tough guy.
Do you have a message for Mark Carney? Should he call an election?
Thank you, guys.
Talk to Mark Carney.
What wound up happening with those seagulls and crows and the chickens? Well, the chickens got devoured by the seagulls and the crows. Let's take a peek. It's pretty fun. We have birds around here all the time. They're crazy predators. Don't mess with a crow or a seagull. You guys ain't scared of nothing. My name's Aaron. This is Canadian Looney. Like, share, subscribe, get notified, all those fun things. We are trying to learn and share with you what we're learning about Canadian federal politics as we see it. We call it as we see it here. Like, I've got the back of people in the grocery store lineups. Like, it's so ridiculous these days. Like, I'm not a super poor guy, but I'm not getting any richer either, man. Whoo! Under this communist government, or whatever in the hell it is. Aaron, Canadian Looney, like, share, subscribe, get notified. Thank you for watching this video. We'll catch you in the next one. Later, folks.
Cut it out. Get out of here.
In Canadian federal politics, the Canucks are represented by two separate yet unequal groups: the globalists who sold out and the opposition trying to salvage a country. These are their stories.